Watch the game, sports. I'm your man, L.A. Cheatham.
What's going on, people? It is Benjamin Banneker, and football season is upon us. It is now officially the best time of the year. And Madden drop, and college football drop, and 2K's out. I ain't got that, but it's a good time right now.
You didn't get the early access for NBA 2K26?
Nah, man.
No.
I don't have enough interest in the pro game. But when that college basketball game come out, you can believe.
Man, we're going to be 2-3 years in the waiting for that one. 2K26 looking pretty good from what I could see. But I'll wait maybe a week or so after the game come out before I get my hands on it. I'm definitely gonna pick it up. College football kicked off. Big games over the weekend as we are days away from NFL, the Shield kicking off on a Thursday night. Then I think we got a Friday night game. You got the Eagles and the Cowboys kicking off on Thursday night football. That kicks off the NFL 2025 football season. A lot going on. Unfortunately, we were not able to. We kind of wanted to go on and talk about the star-studded cast of the big matchups of college football, but unfortunately didn't get a chance to do it. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit on the back end. But for those of you on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the videos. But you saw the thumbnail, and that's why you're here. Taking the NFC North, and I have some very interesting. I got a different take on the NFC North from what most people think. Many consider it to be the toughest division in the NFL. I beg to differ.
I'm with you.
And before I get into it, I want to allow you to elaborate on it. And what do you think about the NFC North?
I think everybody is a day late and a dollar short to that party. I think maybe last year it was probably the toughest division in football, minus the Bears. Losing 10 straight games, 11 straight games.
10.
Mm-hmm. That disqualified them. But the other three teams in the division, I mean, you had the Packers. They made the playoffs. The Vikings won over 12 games. We know the Lions was the number one seed in the NFC. That's all in one division. But coming into this year, like I said, I just think people are a day late and a dollar short because they just reading off last year's press clippings. The Detroit Lions lost both coordinators, both of them. Now, we don't know what Jared Goff is without Ben Johnson. We don't know what that defense is without Aaron Glenn. We don't know. So we don't think Dan Campbell is that great of a coach. He's a culture builder. We don't think he's going to scheme something up and, have the guys ready to play. He's going to have them motivated, but can he, like I just said, scheme them up, put them in the right positions? We don't give Dan Campbell that type of praise when we talking about the coaches in the league that can do that. So I think Detroit will take a step back. Minnesota, as we already said, J.J. McCarthy is basically a rookie. And coming into the NFL, as being an avid Michigan fan, I still don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. So for them to say that the NFC North is the toughest division in football, I just that's a little bit of a reach. Until the other day when Michael Parsons got traded from Dallas up to Green Bay. Now Green Bay is all of a sudden a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if I go that far either, but it's just a lot of reaching going on, man. It's a lot of Stretch Armstrong going on right now, and people just need to pump the brakes and just really look at the total landscape of this thing. I still think the AFC North is the toughest division in football, but hey, what do I know?
Well, in my opinion, I think we kind of feel the same way. It's a lot of change in the NFC North, and outside of there's one big change in Green Bay, one adjustment, one piece. Well, two pieces. You take away in Green Bay, you probably taken a little bit away from your rushing, your defense having the ability to stop and run, and in search of getting to the quarterback. With Michael Parsons being traded to the Packers, and the Packers trading Kenny Clark with two future first round picks to Dallas. So maybe Green Bay is sacrificing a little bit of the run defense, or maybe they have someone that's going to be a stopgap, another up and coming developing defensive tackle. Where they feel like he's developed enough. Who that is, I don't know. We'll watch the games and find out. But uh, just a lot of change in the NFC North. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my predictions for the NFC North, and I'll tell you why. Um, in fourth place, I'm gonna go with Minnesota. Now, most people think that Minnesota is has a Super Bowl caliber roster. Um, but the biggest question is quarterback. Um, Kevin O'Connell has challenged himself. He has challenged himself. And what I mean by that is when they let Sam Darnold go, I think they went like 15-2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let Sam Darnold go. And then now we're about to see if JJ McCarthy can be something we have not seen either at the college level, considering the fact that Kevin O'Connell is an aggressive passing. He usually calls an aggressive passing offense. That's very different from what JJ McCarthy did in Ann Arbor at Michigan. Um, I believe that Minnesota's going to probably have to dial it back a little bit, um, going with a little bit more of a running game, better game management, because I think at times later in the season, that's where the Lions dominated. They got into that shootout with the Lions because the game management was bad, and I think as injured as the Lions were, they still found a way to dominate Minnesota down the stretch at the end of the regular season last year. And then I believe Kevin O'Connell was asking Sam Darnold to do a tad bit too much and not leaning enough on the running game. Now, considering the fact they have that really good defense, with Brian Flores being very aggressive, I would think that it would be in Kevin O'Connell's best interest even more to have a little bit more of a running game so that he can kind of keep his defense fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting. So with Kevin O'Connell, the biggest thing is accepting or challenging himself to coach JJ McCarthy in a style different from which he came out of in college. And then in third place, I have the Bears. And in that situation, the Bears, we got a new head coach in Ben Johnson. He has accepted the challenge. He has accepted the challenge of retooling, refining Caleb Williams' game, trying to get him to play more in structure. So for that reason, we don't know what that defense is going to be. It looks good on paper, but the ability to get to the quarterback, the pass rush, needs to have a much better production. Montez Sweat has to be better. He needs help on the other side. So Dan Allen, Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
He's going in to be coming out of New Orleans, going into Chicago to be the defensive coordinator. But the biggest thing is Ben Johnson taking the challenge to coach Caleb Williams, a talented quarterback, talented college quarterback that was more so playing off script, and his challenge is to get him to play on script. And another interesting thing with that is how we keep saying it, how long, how patient will Ben Johnson be, and how will Caleb Williams take to the coaching of playing in structure and being patient enough when things don't go according to plan. His progression, reading defenses, and seeing the open man has to be faster. His processing has to be faster, and he has to get the football out of his hands quickly. But I have the Bears in third place. Second place, I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions, and it's because I believe they have the talent, and if the locker room is right, they can kind of communicate on both sides of the football, and maybe the players can run this show a little bit, being that they'll be healthy enough to do so. With losing the offensive coordinator, of course, Ben Johnson coming to Chicago, and Aaron Glenn going to New York with the Jets. The challenge for them is okay. They got the talent on the roster. How well will they play under the new coordinators? And I believe the pressure's on the players, especially in the first 4 to 8 weeks of the season. You got to get the most out of your roster until coordinators kind of catch up to scheme and personnel and figuring out what works. I got the Lions coming in second place in the NFC North. Now, the Packers, I'm going with the Packers, and I was thinking Packers before they pick up Michael Parsons for the reason that they have the more familiar roster. They have they are the one team in the division that didn't make a lot of changes. So they know the defense. I believe the defensive coordinator is intact, the offensive coordinator is intact. Matt LaFleur, one of the one of the bright minds in NFL offensively. So being that they're already familiar with what they do week in and week out, that's why I gave them the edge. The defense is probably one of the better defenses in the league, and then you add Michael Parsons, you might be taking a chance on the inability not to stop the run for a little bit better pass rush help. But so just for the situation and the familiarity of roster and system, that's why I picked. It's not about Jordan Love. Uh, it may not even. I think it's more about the system. It's not about Jordan Love or one particular guy. I believe the one guy that can make a big difference is Michael Parsons. And if Jordan Love can just play up to his contract, I mean, I got the Packers winning the NFC North. The crazy part about is with me being a suspended Bears fan, I have no no stress in saying that. I really don't. I mean, it's like I can just speak freely, and honestly, I really feel like the Packers are going to win the division of the NFC North. Not so much because of talent, but more so because of scheme, roster, and familiarity. And at the end of the day, health is going to show its face in all of this with all four of these teams. But right now, I have the Green Bay Packers winning the North.
I'm with you on a lot that you said. First, I think I wouldn't be surprised if 10 games wins this division, 11 games wins this division, because they do play the AFC North, which I just said I think is the toughest division in football. I do think we in lockstep with the Vikings coming probably in fourth place. Just that question mark of what JJ is, I think it's just too big to ignore. Looking at a lot of potential things. If this offense hasn't looked like it did the last 2-3 years, with Sam Darnold last year and Kirk Cousins the 2 years before that, you got two top tier receivers in Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Not to mention, what's that? The tight end Hawkinson out there, and the running back.
Didn't they just add Thielen?
Thielen came back. I ain't see if he got picked up, but I mean that might be.
I'm not sure, but I want to say I think
Thielen came.
I,
I'll check.
I
Hold
think they picked up Thielen. But go ahead
even,
with your thought.
yeah, even still, and then you got Aaron Jones. So
Yeah,
Aaron Jones has been known to be banged up and nicked up a lot of times. It's foolish to think he's going to make it through 17 games, but can he be there for 12, 13? I just feel like it's a lot of question marks. And I really like Kevin O'Connell as a coach, but that question mark of what J.J. McCarthy is, that's too much to ignore. So I'm going with them fourth. Third, sad to say it, that's where I would put us. But I'm saying that as 9-8. So I got the Chicago Bears come in as third. It's going to be growing pains. I don't think they're just going to come out the box and just knock this thing out of the park and take over the NFC North like Ryan Post has been suggesting for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, he made a bold statement when he came in on his opening day press conference.
Yeah,
has yet to make good on that.
Wait, hold on, I'm adjusting this real time. I actually got it as a tie. I actually got the Bears and the Packers tied at 9-8. Reason I say that is Michael Parsons, they just went out and got him. That's the big key acquisition. His back is hurting right now.
Yeah.
I just saw that he's considering taking an ejection so he can play on Sunday, which tells me this thing is going to linger all through the year.
Yeah, it could be. It could.
And you outlined how they gave up Kenny Clark, who's a big part of their run stopping defense. So now you done took him out of the fold. You don't know how many games Mike is going to be on the field because I expect him to be in and out the lineup all year. They don't got Zaire Alexander no more. He's out. That was their top corner. He's gone now. So I think the Bears and the Packers, they tied 9-8. So whoever you want to put 3, whoever you want to put 2, put there. And then I'm still going with the Lions to win the division, but obviously not what they won 14 games last year. Obviously not approaching that win total. I still think they are the most talented team, the deepest team in this division. But the coaching staff with the coordinators, as we outlined before, I just can't overlook that. So I got the Lions winning it, 10 or 11 games. Bears, Packers, however you want to put it, both at 9-8, and then you got Minnesota bringing up the rear.
Okay, so we just differ on who's going to win the division. I got the Packers for familiarity, and you got the Lions because of talent.
Yeah,
and I can see that. We can go into week 1 matchups because as we open up with these predictions of the NFC North, all of these teams will be facing. The NFC North will be kicking off week 1 with matchups. The 4:00 Eastern game, 4:25 Eastern game is I guess that's what do they call that game?
America's Game of the Week with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I believe that's Green Bay and Detroit in that game, and I got I'm gonna take Green Bay winning that game because right there you got the two teams that we picked to win the division matching up right away week 1.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with Green Bay in that game. I believe it's gonna be a tall task, but I think that the Lions are probably gonna come out slow, and I think we don't know what the Lions are without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. So for that reason, I got Green Bay getting off to a better start, and I got Green Bay winning. I don't want to put a score out there. I don't want to be that nerdy about it. But I just believe that Green Bay, the familiarity of the roster, and the challenge for them is going to be to stop the run. And I believe that's one thing that the Lions are going to really try to do. to establish themselves offensively. So if Green Bay is going to be challenged to stop the run with David Montgomery and Gibbs. So, but I'm still going with Green Bay because I think they're going to have the ability to make plays. I see a couple big plays going their way. So Green Bay beating Detroit in week 1, and then Monday night I got the Bears beating the Vikings. And I think this game could be a little tad bit sloppy because I believe both defensive coordinators, Dennis Allen and Brian Flores, are going to challenge these young quarterbacks to make plays either patiently or they're going to be sending, dialing up all these different blitzes. So I can see a lot of different schemes, defensive schemes, to challenge these two young quarterbacks to make plays in structure, being that both of these young quarterbacks, are going to be playing in their first official uh, football game under these coaches, being Ben Johnson and Kevin O'Connell. And I think that the defense, you normally this time of the year, is ahead of the offense. So I'm going to give the Bears an edge, and I'm going to say the defense is going to make a play to win this game. But I do think it's going to be a sloppy game for both offenses because of the ability of the defensive coordinators on each side to dial up aggressive strategic calls to challenge these quarterbacks. And you add to the fact that the Bears have an issue on the left tackle with the left tackle position. Braxton Jones will probably be getting a start, but I still got the Bears coming out and winning the football game.
I'm going. Obviously, I'm going Bears to win that game on Monday night. Again, not gonna get into a score because I'm sure we probably do a episode right before because that's Monday night next week. So we'll see how we work that out. But yeah, I'm going with Bears in the victory there, and then I'm going on the other side just based on I think the Lions are the more talented team. We just noted that Michael Parsons may not play in that game. Again, dealing with Gibbs and Demo coming out the backfield. I'm just going to give the nod to the better team, even though the Packers are home. You said that's the 325 game.
Yeah.
Yes, it's hard to take the Packers in that spot. Not because I'm a Bears fan. Still, my fandom ship is still active and alive. My key card still work at Hallis Hall. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions to win that game.
With that being said, you shouting that out, I'm gonna shout out my man Will Bates. Me and Will have been texting and calling and with anticipation of this upcoming season. So I just want to shout him out, Will Bates, and also my man TJ Moore. I see TJ's been checking us out. My cousin Bob. Um, just outside the box. Now, keep in mind, we do have a big fight coming up. So it's going to be some big sports weeks, big things going on in the next couple of weeks, and with the NFL kicking off, and then this big fight with Canelo and Bud Crawford. Maybe we're gonna find some time to talk about that sometime soon. But just to bring that up. But
and
we also had
getting blown off the field right now. It is 27-7.
Yeah.
We go back and forth about best coach of all time, and I said he's not it because he ain't really did nothing without Tom Brady. So I'm interested to see. I know it's a different game. Game, but he never won in Cleveland. He didn't win. He was at the Jets before that. So I think it's more Tom Brady.
Well, I'm gonna still give him the nod because he is a defensive coach, and developing quarterback is a special science to it, and he allowed Tom Brady to develop, and that's the reason why I give him the nod because he he coached Tom, and Tom played in a different era where the NFL had a little bit more patience for development at that time. And I give Bill the nod because he surrounded Tom with defense, solid defense, and a good schemed up running game enough to the point where they didn't ask Tom to do much. And Tom was able to play long enough to really be good at the position, along with his uh, ability to be a student of the game and a stickler for, just playing the position at a high level. That's why I give Bill Belichick the nod, because he allowed Tom Brady to become who he was, and Tom Brady did a hell of a job of doing that. But still, like look at the situation compared to now with just look at that 2021 team, that 2021 draft class. I mean, that was headed
Quarterback.
by
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the ability to sit back and just let your quarterback develop, it takes patience, and you have to scheme around it. And here we are right now, going into 2025, kicking off this season. And the question is, especially as we talk about this NFC North, you got Kevin O'Connell challenging himself, in my opinion, to coach JJ McCarthy. And then you got Ben Johnson taking on the challenge to coach Caleb Williams. Now the question is, there's got to be some patience, and you got to have the ability to scheme up to help your quarterback. So that's why I give Tom Brady. I mean, that's why I give Bill Belichick the nod. Now, I got this game on, but I haven't watched much of it. I see it's 27-7, like you said. One thing about Bill Belichick's what we figured out during his tenure as an NFL football coach, he had trouble defending the mobile quarterbacks. I don't know if that's the case in this game, but uh, to see a Bill Belichick team down 27-7 early in the third quarter, that tells you a totally different ball game.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you wonder, at least at the college level, and people were wondering then, had the game passed him by. This could have been a risky move, but I think his son is in place to take over this job, you know, uh, down the
Well,
stretch
his son can't take over
in
that
North
job if
Carolina.
he don't do nothing. This is not New
But
England.
that's true. That's what I'm saying. That's what I
Yeah.
was getting to. If this doesn't go well for Bill Belichick, you would wonder if his son would ever get an opportunity to take over this program. But like I said, right now he's down 27-7. Um, it's going to be interesting. That's one side note for college football that we might want to look at down the stretch. Speaking of college football, um, Michigan Wolverines, we had some interesting matchups. Week one of the football season. The biggest story being Texas, Arch Manning going into Ohio State, and then of course Alabama. For other reasons, big story because they lost, and how they lost to Florida State. And is Penn State ready to take the next step on, challenging for the national championship? But first and foremost, how do you feel about your Wolverines and your
Well,
new star quarterback?
Penn State got to win the Big Ten first. I mean, let's start
Yeah, they
there.
got to take the next step. That's what I'm saying. How do
Yeah.
they take that next step and move on and actually, because they were in the playoff.
Yeah,
I
and
think
they
they would.
lost
Didn't they get?
to
Did they get to the semis
Yeah, they beat
against Notre Dame
SMU in the first round because they had playoff home game, and then they lost to Notre Dame.
in the semi? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe in. I don't know. I don't know if have you seen the poll for the top 25?
No, it ain't out yet because
It ain't out yet.
yeah, I think they
Okay.
do it on Tuesday morning. But what I expected, well, let me just start first. Michigan, how they look? Michigan, it looked very different. still with elements of we still Michigan and we gonna still run the football because
Yeah.
Justice Haynes transfer from Bama had over 150 and 3 touchdowns,
Okay.
but they threw the
Big
ball.
runs.
Yeah, they threw the ball
Mm-hmm.
31 times.
Yeah.
Price was 21 out of 31. He had a great debut, no interceptions, no turnovers. He threw a touchdown pass. He's making I don't know his first name, Klein, number 17, the tight end that's stepping in for Colston Loveland. He's making him look like, oh well, we ain't missed a beat. We just got tight ends like that. The skill positions look better. Donovan McCauley played for Indiana last year. He transferred over to Michigan. He's wearing number 1 now. It looks like they figured out how to use Samaj Morgan, more like a gadget slot guy, like a Percy Harvin type, something like that. He had a lot of touches. Kendrick Bell, which is Ronnie Bell's, his older brother. You remember Ronnie Bell used to play for Michigan. He dropped that pass versus Penn State, not to call it out, but that's probably what a lot of people remember him from. His brother caught a big pass. Goodwin caught a big pass. Still a little bit of small for the wideouts. All of them look to be like 5'9" to 5'11" ish outside of McCulley, but liked what I seen. Watched the Texas Ohio State game. I think everybody was ready to jump on Arch Manning. Arch played bad. He did. But that was a big spot. Like you said, I don't remember the first time a number 1 and 3 opened up the season to play each other. That was a big game. That's really his first true start. It was on the road. That was a big spot for him. So I'm not gonna crush Arch. He did play bad. What I saw from Ohio State, nothing scared me from what I saw from them, but I would not be surprised if Jeremiah Smith gets highly frustrated this year being in Columbus. Reason I say that is he's a sophomore. He can't go to the league yet. He just had one of the best freshman seasons that we've seen from a wide receiver in a long time. I don't believe this quarterback that they have, Julian Saying, is to the caliber of what Will Howard was last year, and I think that's going to frustrate him. They don't have Chip Kelly calling the plays this year. New offensive coordinator coming in. I know Ryan Day kind of has his hands on the offense, but they don't have Jim Knowles on defense. They got Matt Patricia calling plays on the defense. So, but overall, what I saw from Ohio State, they look good. Again, they played higher level competition, but it just didn't put fear in my heart like, oh, they got some dudes out here. We're going to have to continue. Other than Jeremiah Smith, I didn't see the running game be like, oh, who's TJ Henderson or J.K. Dobbins or a back like that. It just didn't look like that $20 million roster that they had last year. And what was the other guy? Alabama and Florida State. We was talking about it just kind of joking during the game, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they reach out to Nick Saban and see if he want to come back. Kalen DeBoer just don't feel like he fits what the Bama culture is. And being that, I think Nick was there 17 years. So you got a lot of the Bama fan base, and I say bandwagon Bama fan base. They don't know what this is.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell that he's not playing SEC football from what he's like. They can't run the football
at all,
and I don't care if you're talking about Alabama, Georgia, Auburn. I don't care who's
LSU.
at the top of the SEC. LSU. They have now. They've always been known for speed, with the wide receiver positions and highly touted at the skill positions, but the best teams in the SEC always have a physical brand of football and a disciplined brand of football. And you run the football and play discipline, play clean, keep the flags off the field. And all I could think was they look like Alabama. They got on the helmets, they got on the pants, they got on the uniforms, but they just don't look fit. They're not that physical Alabama They don't even have the same
aura.
I mean, yeah, it's like they look like frauds out there. And when you look when they pan over to Coach Boy, he's looking puzzled, like, well, should I be trying to sell my home next week or what? That's the look I see on his face, like he's not sure what's going on out there. So now, when you alluded to the Alabama reaching out to Nick Saban, uh, Nick Saban coming back to Alabama has as much chance as Santa Claus showing up in November.
Hey, listen, Michael Jordan went back to the Bulls. We thought he was done. We thought it was over when he went to the play for the Birmingham Barons and all that. We thought we'd never see. And he came back 2 more times after that. I mean, Nick might have just needed to recharge his battery. He was sick of the NIL and all that. Now that he has at least a better sense of what it is. It's pay to play now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bama was doing that anyway. But, I mean, he might have a better scope or a better grasp on what that landscape is. I don't think it's out of the possibility to think he's going to come. Because right now they looking like Arkansas. They looking like Ole Miss, like one of the middling SEC teams.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
Well,
they in that.
Well, for the past few seasons, Ole Miss have improved offensively. They don't look like Ole Miss. They look closer to what South Carolina was, meaning they were, even South Carolina's pretty good right now, but they got some interesting talent. They got some talented guys on their team. I forget that quarterback's name with South Carolina. But bottom line is, Alabama don't look like Alabama. And the fans see it, and the fan base ain't going to put up with it. So it's going to be interesting. They may be, I don't know about Nick Saban coming back, but I can see them making a move real soon. Nick Saban coming back, like I said, I think you got a better chance of Santa Claus coming in November. I'm just being honest with you.
But if
I don't see it. I don't see it. And don't get me wrong, because I believe I can see Nick Saban looking at this thing and kind of wondering to himself. I mean, because Nick Saban he built a lot of programs on his way to Alabama. He was at Michigan State, LSU, and I think Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And when he left those programs, he left them in a good place and playing on a high level. But his legacy is built on was established in Alabama. He spent more time there, so I can see him having a special interest in that program and maybe getting a spark. But I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see him coming back. You mentioned that he may understand the NIL deal, the NIL, landscape of college football a little bit better now. I mean, it's yet to be seen, but bottom line is Alabama don't look like Alabama. And you being a Michigan fan, it's certain teams that you expect to be playing very well at a high level. Alabama's one of those teams. Even with you being a Michigan fan, if Ohio State fell off,
mm-hmm.
you probably wouldn't mind it for a year or two. But if they just fell completely off, you would miss that competition because it's a build-up for the big game. Yeah.
They didn't miss that competition when they was running us for 11 out of 12 years. They was relentless on me. So no, I wouldn't. I would be like, everything that comes around goes around, and it's y'all time to sit in the bottom of the dweller and look up at us and wonder, are we ever gonna beat them again? Yeah, I would do that.
Okay, I feel you. But Saban coming back? No. As far as Arch Manning is concerned, keep in mind that Matt Patricia was calling plays for one of the top defenses in the country. When I go back and look at some of the tape breakdowns, Eli did leave some plays on the. I mean, not Eli. I keep calling the
All right.
kid Eli. Arch did leave some plays on the field, and he did have some questionable throws that allowed me to question his arm strength. But when I looked at it, I think that when everybody talk about this footwork thing and mechanics, I think he may have some of those issues as well. But going into Columbus, opening up against the Ohio State Buckeyes, that's the world famous. Is anybody else calling them the world famous other
Only
than
because I don't know
yeah,
where they got that from, but yeah.
yeah, but anyway, asking him to go into Ohio State and Columbus and I mean it was just a defensive struggle. It was not a defensive struggle, but both teams got kind of dominated by the defenses, the physicality of the game. Receivers weren't separating themselves. They kind of canceled each other out, and the ability to make one or two big plays is what won this football game. And I think in the weeks to come, I want to say that Arch Manning, the speed of the game, and the team being able to establish a little bit more physicality week in, week out, and maybe even barring injury, maybe even getting a little bit deeper in the depth department as far as figuring out where the other playmakers are from a depth perspective. I can see him getting better, and maybe not Heisman. That might be a bit of a stretch. We don't know who the Heisman guy is right now. I don't want to put Arch in the Heisman, but I do want to say that Texas will be a threat in the SEC and building up to the national championship contender. The jury's still out on Arch. I think it's fair to say that.
They playing San Jose State, I think. This
Yeah, yeah, they
upcoming
got some pretty good,
it'll be a get right game.
matchups. Yeah, pretty good. Like I said, good get right games to get ready down towards the stretch again before they open it up in the SEC. Interesting to see what's going to happen with Texas going down the stretch. Penn State,
We need a
like I
breaking
said,
news thing like sound or whatever. Because I was just gonna tell you, Bill
yeah.
Belichick is down 33-7 right now. Might be 34. And I'm gonna stay on this because Andy Reid is a better coach than him just because he's won multiple places. Belichick only won when he had Brady. Okay, but I'm gonna stay on. Keep going.
Yeah, well, I guess I tell you, Belichick was a defensive coach, and
But I'm just saying you can't
also
call
when
him the
Belichick
greatest
didn't
coach
have
of all
Josh,
time.
we didn't have Josh McDaniels, he didn't when Bill Belichick didn't have Josh McDaniels, and wasn't that the offensive coordinator. They didn't do well. They weren't as successful. If I stand corrected, but um, Andy Reid is an offensive coach. Andy Reid has had quite a few quarterbacks. It's only one that's taken him to the promised land.
Right, but at least
Okay, so it kind
Andy.
of balances itself out.
No, because at least Andy was getting to the NFC Championship with the Eagles. He just never got over. He actually got to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They lost to the Patriots actually, but
Okay.
outside of that, Andy won in Philly. We can say getting to the NFC Championship game multiple times is a successful tenure, right?
Yeah.
And then he got four. How many Super Bowls? They got 3 Super Bowls in Kansas City, and then they've been to 5.
He's definitely a better offensive. I mean, he's an offensive man. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say he's a better coach. I'm just not gonna say that. I'm not. And don't get me wrong. Maybe the game has passed Belly by. And taking his job in North Carolina was probably a little suspect. Probably should have got out when he was ahead. But I'm gonna still give Andy Reid a close second. I'm not gonna say that just yet.
All right, then
Nah.
we gonna for
History
all
will
our,
play itself out.
exactly for all our
And
subscribers
it's an
viewers.
uphill battle for me. I mean, it's not that big of a gap, but it's still an uphill battle for me to say Andy Reid is the best coach of all time, and because hell, he was in the league when Bill Belichick was winning them championships with Tom Brady. So it is what it is.
Bill
I mean,
Belichick
you
ain't
can't. It's
better
like
than Bill Walsh.
say that again.
Bill Belichick is not a better coach than Bill Walsh.
Okay, well, I might take Bill Walsh over Andy Reid. I just might do that.
And that's
I
fine.
just be okay.
We can, but we just saying Belly ain't at the top. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying if I had to pick 1 and 2, it'd be Belly and Bill Walsh because Andy Reid is playing in a different league. I mean, it's a different league. I mean, the defensive sets, the safety of the game, the rules of the game has changed. All of that stuff's got to be debated. I mean, Andy and Bill Belichick has had some questionable strategies as far as stealing signs or stealing, having spies and practice and all that, deflate gate and all that. But at the end of the day, you still got to line up and block and and execute. So I mean, that's neither here. That's like the one thing I know. This is off subject. We may not agree on who the best coach is, but it's almost like that same conversation everybody have during the basketball season, and it's been keeping the NBA afloat for over 20 years, and that's the GOAT debate. And it's kind of the same conversation. And we'll never see LeBron James and Michael Jordan face off in the game, but we definitely have seen Andy Reid and Bill Belichick face offs at some point if you go down the history. So if you're drawing it back on that, I'm just looking at the fact that Bill Belichick was more successful when Andy Reid was in his league too. So he still won those six Super Bowls, and Andy Reid was in the league as well. And now Andy Reid has Patrick Mahomes, and I'm gonna give Andy Reid the nod, and I'm gonna say this run he's had with the Kansas City Chiefs, it's more Andy Reid than Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna be fair in saying that. Because he took the pay. He was the one coach that was patient enough in today's era of rush these quarterbacks to the field. He set him down and let him develop. So he had a certain temperament of dealing with this with Patrick Mahomes. So that goes, that's to be applauded. But I'm going with Belly.
All right, 85 and 101. That's his record without Tom Brady.
All right. So we could pretty much we can wrap up. I would like to go into the finishing up the divisions, and then we can wrap up I think we had the AFC West, the NFC West, and the NFC East. We covered the North early. In AFC West. Now, when everyone talks about the NFC North being the toughest division in football, the AFC West could arguably be the toughest because look at the coaches that's in that division. Every coach in that division has either been to a Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl. And for that reason, I'm going to say that's might be the toughest division. But we just talked about Andy Reid. It's hard to pick anybody against the Chiefs in that division. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going to go with San Diego to take a second place finish. The Broncos taking third, and then the Raiders taking the fourth in their division. And with that being said, the Broncos might be the dark horse.
Yeah, that's what I was. I'm with you. Chiefs is just asinine to think that they're not going to win that division. So
yeah, they really got to be beaten first. You got to knock them off.
Yeah, Chiefs number 1. I'm going Broncos 2, Raiders 3, Chargers 4. It was funny. It was funny you said every coach had been to the Super Bowl and won it. 3 of them won it.
I say been to the Super Bowl or won a
Right,
Super Bowl.
and the one that didn't win it is my old coach.
Yeah,
he win, but he didn't. Yeah, he lost the big bro. But
yeah,
yeah. So
That's
I just don't think he stacked that team up, replenished them with talent. I know Keenan Allen just went. Didn't he just sign back there? But
he went back.
But outside of that, the way Jim want to play football, he want to ground and pound it. And this the NFL, you still got to have some guys on the outside, somebody to throw it to, and you got a guy back there that can throw it.
I think Jim's going to open it up. I think the whole last year was about building culture. I don't think he's going to get away from the running game, but I think he understands and he knows what league he's in. I think he knows his ability, the ability of Justin Herbert to make plays with his arm, and he has some young weapons. I forget the kid the name out of Ole Miss that they drafted, the wide receiver. He's got some. They got the one kid that was from TCU that he drafted the
But
year
he can't
before.
catch. Yeah, he just got speed, but he can't catch.
Okay, well, we will see. This is going to be a second season, right?
Yeah.
We'll see how that improves in the second season. And then you got the kid out of Ole Miss. I forget his name. I don't want to mess his name up, so I'm gonna go without it. I think his first name is Trey. I can't remember his last name, but he was from Ole Miss, and I think he's there in LA with the Chargers. The running game, I think they picked up
Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. That was
and they also picked up the running back that was in Pittsburgh,
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris, but I don't think he's going to be healthy going into the season. I'm not sure, but like I said, it's going to be tough to pick against the Chiefs in that division. I kind of see how it plays out. And who do we have left? The NFC West and the NFC East.
We did the West.
We did the West?
Because remember, we was talking about Kyler Murray and he might get replaced and all that kind of stuff if he don't win and stuff this year.
I can't remember who I had picked winning that division. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. For the same reason that I picked the Green Bay Packers to win the North. They're more familiar with each other. And I'm not a believer in Kyler Murray. And Seattle still figuring things out. And I think this is the year where the 49ers, maybe I haven't looked at their schedule, but with the way they finished up last season, their schedule may be a bit softer. I haven't looked at it, but I'm picking the 49ers to win that division. The Rams, they can be a second place team, but it's Matthew Stafford gonna.
He hasn't.
You know what I
don't
mean?
think he's done anything.
They're saying that he's going to start game 1, week 1, but he's having problems with his back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about, I think his back problems may be a lot more serious than Michael Parsons, but he's having back issues, and that's to be a quarterback and have those issues. You can't really put your money on that. So I'm gonna go with San Francisco to win the division. I'm gonna go with Seattle to come in second. I'm gonna go with the Rams to go in third, and then I got Arizona last in that division. And it's all because I'm not a big believer in Kyler Murray. I think this is the year that Arizona might be ready to move on from Kyler Murray. He's not a difference maker from the aspect of, he's the Barry Sanders of quarterbacks. He can scoot. He's a matchup problem in space, but he's not durable. You hit him in the sweet spot, you might knock him out for 4 to 8 weeks. So I can't go with that. So I think I called it. We got San Francisco who did I say? Seattle, LA, and then Arizona finishing up. It's a damn shame that Marvin Harrison Jr. has to go through that.
See, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go Cardinals to win the division. Rams in second. 49ers third. Seahawks fourth. Bringing in last place. It's gonna be close. Again, kind of like same thing I said about the NFC North. Maybe 10 games wins that division. I ain't gonna say it's like the NFC South when they win the division at 8-9 or something like that. I don't think it's quite that bad, but yeah, I'm gonna just switch it up. I think Kyler Murray is probably the most established quarterback in that division. We just said outside of Matt Stafford, we don't know if he's gonna be able to play, so I gotta take that into consideration. I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I just don't. And then San Francisco been at the top of that division for so long, but they keep losing personnel. Debo's no longer there. Is CMC going to be healthy enough to carry that team? We don't know what Brock Purdy is without the weapons. George Kittle's still there. They paid Ayuk, but Ayuk got banged up last year, so he needs to come back and have – it's just a lot of questions. That defense, they lost Dre Greenlaw. That Bosa is still there. But I think that defense has lost some personnel too. So as good as Kyle Shanahan is as a coach, I just there's a lot of question marks about the Niners. So I ain't saying
they definitely gonna have to stay healthy, but I got them winning. And that's the reason why I look forward to us having these conversations, because when it comes to getting around the league outside of the North, it's interesting that we don't really see it the same way. We talk sports, we have a lot of the similar thought processes, but it's good that we can differ on a couple of these things for the viewers to take out the time to check us out, and thank them for checking us out.
Bill Belichick is now losing 41-7.
Okay, so we running Bill Belly out of Chapel Hill. I think he's put another quarterback out there. Number 14 is the guy that's out there now. So maybe this is his passing quarterback. This is his Tom Brady. So it's gonna be interesting in North Carolina at Chapel Hill with the football program, and Bill Belichick running this college program in North Carolina, a basketball school. Belly's going down there to change all that.
Making the jump man look bad. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah. So, hey man, I think we about ready to wrap up. It's been real big time getting ready to kick off, and I got some changes for those listening and watching. I'm looking to go on a little bit more often, and unfortunately, I may not have your services all the time, but me and you, we got a schedule that we willing to play with, and in order to build this channel, hey, I'm gonna have to probably go on, and maybe you can go on from time to time by yourself. So watch the game. Big kickoff this weekend. Thursday night, Eagles and Cowboys on Thursday night. Friday night, I think we got the Bills. No, not the Bills. Yeah.
And the Chargers.
Yeah. The Chiefs and the Chargers. So we get a chance on Friday night up under the lights to see a special Friday night game. And I think that's a YouTube game. But there you go.
And Saturday, watch the game. You got the Wolverines going to Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, how could I not mention that? I'll be kicking it with you guys. Hopefully, big game for the Wolverines. After having that warm up in Ann Arbor with New Mexico, they get a big game. I think that's a very prime time game going into Norman. What's that? Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
playing the Sooners. So. Going into the SEC country. So, look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for watching. subscribe, and share. We out.
We out.